Hi, Curslings. Today we're talking about Dougherty Dozen Bestie, This Mad Mama, aka Veronica Merritt, a somewhat controversial TikTok momfluencer of 12 biological children.
I'm Veronica, aka This Mad Mama. I'm 38 years old and I have 12 biological offspring.
Now, I have covered This Mad Mama quite a bit in the past, after she was platformed by Alicia Dougherty last April.
I feel bonita.
Veronica is a smaller momfluencer with a pretty traumatic backstory.
I got pregnant in middle school. I was just 14 years old. My daughter's father was 18 years old. The age gap is inappropriate, but he did not groom me or chase me. It wasn't anything like that, so please do not feel sorry for me. I am not a victim.
And would go on to have 12 kids between two fathers and has what I would describe as humble means. But what is notable about Veronica is her TikTok platform and the content decisions she tends to make, as Veronica's messy and a bit of a troll.
Did you know that I won the lottery? I won $20 million. I've also been married 20 times. Did you know I also have 20 kids, not 12? 20. Did you know that my house cost $20,000? Only one of those things is true.
So much so, in fact, that it would earn her a small anti-community centered mostly around concerns for her children's welfare. Unlike the Dougherty Dozen's anti-community, though, a lot of Veronica's haters aren't actually haters. They're just concerned citizens who are alarmed by what they've observed in Veronica's content, be that the state of her home, her children's disheveled appearances, Veronica's approach to homeschooling and parenting, their diet, and seeming food insecurity, and just general financial stability.
Only procrastinators will understand. I am so happy because I paid my water bill on time. Like, I didn't wait for a disconnect notice or anything. I just paid it.
Or lack thereof. There are also a lot of concerns about Veronica's ability to be a single mother to 11 kids after she broke up with her second husband, Marty, a year or two ago. That, coupled with her second youngest child's cancer diagnosis around the same time, it's safe to say that Veronica's had a rough go of things and she hasn't maybe been handling things all too well.
I'm broke, but I'm happy. I'm poor, but I'm kind.
Which has, in turn, led many in her anti-community, myself included, to worry about her mental well-being and her ability to manage the responsibility of caring for and homeschooling 11 kids, now 10 as her second oldest joined the Marines last summer. Veronica must have heard our concerns, or perhaps she was put on notice by the state, because last fall she decided to re-enroll her kids back into public school, admitting that with Dee's cancer she hadn't been able to meet her other kids' educational needs like she had wanted. And that seemed to be that. Veronica was seemingly just treading water. Then things got quiet around February, with Veronica citing a myriad of different reasons, including issues with her mental health and feeling depressed.
And every time I walk past your window,
and her physical health.
Everybody keeps asking me, where have you been? And I'm right here. I just been under a lot of stress, been dealing with some things like drama with my ex and with my health. I still have to have surgery, which I'm not looking forward to at all. I guess emotionally I just haven't felt up to it.
Including a supposed hysterectomy in May.
It looks like cancer, but it might not be, and there is no way to test it. So I'm being referred to a cancer specialist because the fibroid in my uterus is a very strong blood supply. It's attached itself to an artery or something. I don't know. Basically, the doctor said that I should just get the hysterectomy it's the safest option. But if I want to try to save my uterus, then I need to be referred to a cancer specialist who can let me know if it's possible to save my uterus.
As such, her posts to TikTok have been sporadic. And when Veronica would post, it would be met with some degree of backlash, with one of the most recent examples being around her second youngest, D, and his lack of a birth certificate or social insurance number.
So Donnie did have health insurance, and a lot of people have asked for updates on my son's health, how's his cancer. Last time I was able to bring him to the doctor, he had a scan and everything looked good and everything was clear, but we haven't been able to do any follow-up treatments because his health insurance was taken away. The reason his health insurance was taken away is because he was born at home, and right after he was born I got sick, and while I was sick COVID happened and everything shut down, and I couldn't get a hold of anybody to get the paperwork I needed. And once I finally got the paperwork I needed, he was over a year old, so I needed different paperwork.
Both of which he needs to be eligible for state health care, something he desperately needs in order to continue treating his cancer.
The point is, I have been trying to get his birth certificate for 4 freaking years. But without his birth certificate, I can't get his social security card. And without his social security card, they will no longer allow him to have health insurance.
That was 3 weeks ago. It has been radio silence since, leading people to wonder if CPS had gotten involved, a frequently drawn conclusion whenever Veronica tends to get quiet. And usually, when Veronica does bother to post again, the CPS rumors are quickly dispelled, usually until today. So let's get into it. Earlier today, Veronica uploaded this TikTok update, which she titled, "Giving Up My Son to Keep Him Alive," which she had filmed from a hospital bed with tubes dangling from her neck. Qu'est-ce que fuck? In the video, Veronica, who has yellowed, discolored eyes and sounds somewhat loopy, explains that she had surrendered her second youngest, D, to Child Protective Services.
Hey guys, so I wanted to update with the situation with Donnie. I made a very difficult decision, but he could not get a scan to check for neuroblastoma unless I surrendered him voluntarily to CPS. And that's what I ended up doing.
After referencing Aesop's tale, Veronica states that she felt like she didn't have a choice, explaining that he couldn't come home until she got his documents in order.
I felt like I didn't have a choice, and that if I voluntarily surrendered him, he could get the help he needed. I'll know where he is, and I don't have to worry about him dying before I can get his birth certificate. And so, like I said, it was a very difficult decision, but I just did what I thought I had to do to keep him alive. So, he's not coming home until I'm able to get his documents.
Now, this revelation shocked her followers and Reddit, leading to a litany of questions about what the fuck is going on, specifically with the 9 other children still in her care, which Veronica would go on to clarify in this TikTok, where she revealed that she had also surrendered them to CPS and that they would unfortunately be split up.
As for the other kids, I actually just agreed to have them all, anyone who was under 18, is all in foster care right now. They're all being placed in homes, mostly separated, which is unfortunate, but it was for a completely different reason, and they will be home much sooner.
Veronica also took care to stress that this was voluntary, that she chose to give up custody of her children to the state.
I made a video explaining why I surrendered Donnie. Now, I am not surrendering him forever. It's a voluntary thing. I'm going to know where he is, who he's with. I'm going to be able to go to him, his doctor's appointments, whatever. And in 6 to 8 months or whatever, when I finally have what I need to get his insurance, I'll be able to petition to get him back.
Insisting even that because she surrendered her children, that they'd be home much sooner than Dee would because she was cooperating with the state.
And again, since I did it voluntarily, I'll know where they are, I'll be able to see them and spend time with them.
In her comments, Veronica would elaborate even further in how the children would be split up, writing, "M is with a friend, 4 are with family, 4 are together with strangers." The family presumably being her sister, who she said couldn't take all of her children. But what took a lot of people back with this TikTok was when Veronica compared foster care to going to summer camp, which is not what foster care is like at all.
I think that it'll be fun for them, like camp, you know? But yeah, no, I kind of had to also give them up. Completely different reason, though.
In response to people's understandable outrage about comparing foster care to summer camp, Veronica would say this: "He actually loves strangers, and I presented it to him as a fun experience where he'll get to make new friends." Which, it makes sense, in a way. How do you explain to your children, especially the youngest ones, like a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, that you've seemingly temporarily surrendered them to the state? How do you explain that in a way that eases their fear and anxiety? I'm not saying that this was the right way to go about it. I'm just saying that I get her thought process, and truthfully, this would break me. I don't think I could explain to my 4-year-old why he couldn't stay with me, and I hope I never have to.
And that's what I ended up doing. And I know that people might not understand why I did that.
But wait, my dear Curslings, because there's more. And like so often is the case with Veronica, the plot always thickens and has a bunch of twists and turns to it. As Veronica posted 4 more TikToks from her hospital bed, because the hospital bed, was also hard to ignore. Why the hell is she in the hospital? What the fuck happened? Don't worry, she explains, kinda. Sorta, in her very Veronica way, beginning with this TikTok titled, "I almost killed myself," which is off to a great start.
Why I'm in the hospital is actually pretty embarrassing.
In it, Veronica explains that she accidentally overdosed on extra strength Tylenol.
But I guess PSA, don't take too much Tylenol. I had my wisdom teeth pulled and my face hurt. So I just pop in the Tylenols, one more. And then I read the label and realized that they were extra strength. And I was like, I fucked up.
Now, not everyone bought this story, with some people speculating that it was an intentional overdose, while others wondered if she was lying about what she OD'd on, while others yet felt like she was intentionally omitting details. The thing is that you absolutely can very easily overdose on Tylenol, and for someone like Veronica, who already has a history of kidney problems, it doesn't surprise me that something like this would happen. Now, according to comments, Veronica experienced renal failure, which explains the yellowed, jaundiced discoloration in her eyes and skin, and the dialysis port in her neck, which she also confirmed she had to have.
I had a really scary time at the hospital. I kept hearing people saying that I needed a transplant surgery, but I wasn't really able to communicate with anyone because I was intubated, which I guess is really scary for my loved ones to see.
She very much nearly did die, which is so scary.
So yeah, I accidentally took too many Tylenols and almost unalived myself.
She also clarified when this took place, on June 11th, which was also when she seems to have surrendered her children to the state. Although truthfully, the timeline of events is shaky, as Veronica admits that she doesn't really remember being at the hospital initially.
So I went to the hospital, and I don't remember pretty much anything about being at the hospital. I only have text messages between a friend of mine and me that verify that I did go to the hospital.
Even stating that she was hallucinating when she signed over her kids.
My memory starts with the hallucinations and the nightmares.
This, the not really being in a good place cognitively when she spoke with CPS, has also raised a lot of red flags. And with so many questions about how Veronica could feasibly overdose on Tylenol, she responded with this TikTok titled, "I accidentally overdosed on acetaminophen," in which Veronica explained that it's because she can't take other painkillers due to her kidney problems.
I can't take anything else because of my kidney. I can't take aspirin, I can't take ibuprofen, I can only take Tylenol. So in my mind, that meant Tylenol is safe.
Turns out she was taking something like 1,600 milligrams of Tylenol every 4 hours and then just popping a couple extra ones for good measure, claiming that she didn't realize how high of a dose she was taking until it was too late.
I thought I'd highlight this comment because, first of all, I didn't realize that they were extra strength. No, I didn't read the label. They weren't even real Tylenol. They were off-brand, acetaminophen. So, I was taking 2 every 4 hours, and I popped a couple extra, because it still hurt so bad. The Tylenol wasn't helping, and then I read the label, and I realized, oh no, I definitely overdid it. And I went to the hospital, and I obviously am alive because I went to the hospital before it was too late, but not everyone does.
In fact, it was only after rereading her messages with a friend that Veronica realized just how dangerously close she got to accidentally unaliving herself.
When I realized what I had done, I called 911 and I got help, and the messages between my friend and I kind of helped me understand that I was already in the hospital being treated before it was too late. And it's lucky that I was there because I blacked out and I was tripping. It was the worst trip. No, but really, it was like my mind was gone. I thought I was dead. It was very scary. And I was intubated when I woke up. It was a very horrible experience, and I did not mean to do it.
She also said that CPS was quite understanding of her situation, even going so far as to say that the CPS worker's sister had once overdosed on Tylenol and was empathetic.
And one of the things that I thought was really interesting is the CPS worker who I spoke to said that his sister accidentally did the same thing once. It's a thing. People think that Tylenol is safe. They think you can just take as much as you want, really. I had absolutely no idea that amount was dangerous.
Veronica also joked about her tell-all book that she would be releasing.
And CPS was understanding. When I agreed to have them take them, I wasn't even seeing clearly. Like, I was hallucinating so bad. Like, I can't even explain it because I plan on writing a book to explain it. And I don't want to give away the plot, I guess. So, once I get the book made, you guys should, buy it and show some support. Anyway, yeah. It's easy to overdose on Tylenol. Easier than people think.
Which I understood to be her using dark humor to cope with her situation, as it's something I also tend to do.
And I don't want to give away the plot, I guess. So, once I get the book made, you guys should, buy it and show some support.
Unfortunately, it seemed to fly over a bunch of people's heads, or at least a lot of folks felt like it was just super inappropriate to make jokes given the gravity of her situation. I don't know. I got what she was going for, and I was unfazed by it because it's a coping mechanism, but that's just me. Everyone processes stress and grief differently, and Veronica copes with sarcasm, a little bathos, to try and lighten the very likely soul-crushing weight that she's probably feeling, because this is a lot. This is a lot to take in as an audience member. Just boom, kids gone, CPS involved, Veronica in the hospital. What? Naturally, a lot of people were going to be shocked and even outraged. So Veronica tried to clarify with this TikTok.
When I asked CPS to take my kids, it was because I had absolutely no idea how long I was going to be in a hospital, how long they were going to be without someone to care for them, and I just wanted them to be safe. So if people want to unfollow me because I wanted my kids to be safe, then just go ahead and unfollow me.
Confirming that she absolutely has every intention of trying to get her kids back.
I have every intention
of starting the proceedings to getting them back as soon as I get home.
In another TikTok, Veronica reiterated that time had got a little wonky for her, which is understandable.
I don't even really know how long I was here. My timeline got a little wonky, a little confused.
Bright side, though, she doesn't need a transplant. That's good news, right? Silver lining?
But I don't need a transplant, so I'm guessing that I fixed myself, even though my eyes are still yellow. I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm getting better.
As for the kids, she spoke more on her feelings about surrendering them to CPS, almost seeming to be optimistic about it.
And as far as CPS helping me, it's just supposed to be temporary. As soon as I am home, they're supposed to tell me exactly where the kids are. Like, we're working together.
Insisting that she was the one who called CPS, not the other way around, and it was because she didn't know if she was going to recover or not.
I didn't know at the time that I asked them to take the kids whether or not it was going to be weeks or months. I had no idea. Like, I had a tube in my nose because they pulled out the intubation, but they still left the thing that was like in my nose and mouth. And I was hallucinating really badly, and I was just losing my shit. And I just didn't know if I was even going to get better. And so I was like, okay, well, I want to make sure the kids are somewhere safe, somewhere that, they'll be taken care of, and.
In fact, today was her court hearing, meaning that as of today, she has officially lost custody of her kids, at least temporarily.
I made that decision. Now I'm feeling a lot better. And it's unfortunate because today was court, and today was the day they were officially taken. Before that, I just asked them, and I can show you guys screenshots. Like, I asked them for help.
Now, a pressing question that a lot of people had was where the hell Marty was in all of this, her ex-husband and the father to 10 of her 12 children. Well, it turns out, according to comments that were made by Veronica, Marty got arrested and is seemingly currently in jail. What? Now, for a while, Veronica has been saying that Marty was abusive, but when Veronica spoke about it, it was only about the abuse she suffered, insisting that Marty wasn't abusive to the kids, just her. Then, a month or so ago, Victoria, Veronica's oldest daughter, made this Facebook post, which was reshared to Reddit, which seemed to imply that someone had abused her. Well, it seems like she might have been referring to her stepdad, Marty, who was arrested on May 31st for, drumroll, second-degree course of sexual conduct against a child. Holy shit. A child. Fuck. And based on the info Reddit dug up, this particular felony charge means that Marty essayed a minor under 11 to 13 years of age. Marty and Veronica have 8 children under the age of 13, 3 daughters under the age of 11, if I recall correctly. Yeah, suffice to say, I feel sick. I'm just speechless, gut-wrenched, horrified. We knew something was up with the 3 youngest girls last summer because they were acting out. They vandalized their bedroom, broke furniture.
And do you know what they did? I'll show you what they did. They cut up the privacy curtain. They ripped everything off the shelves and refused to hang any of their clothes up. They stripped their beds. They knocked down the nice curtains. They scribbled all over the walls. They melted marshmallows onto their furniture, and they broke the lampshades. So yeah, I'm kind of mad about it.
Seemed to be constantly crying out for Veronica's attention. Where do you want to go?
I would say I really wanted to do this, like, a whole day. That's me and you.
Okay.
We could go, if there's enough time, we could go to a beach, if it's still summer. And if there's still enough time, we can go to a park, and that's a little place to hang out with you, because how much I love you.
Love you too, baby. Even if it was through punishment, anything to get their mother's attention.
Let's make a deal.
If you guys clean up the toys, clothes, any garbage, stuff like that, I will fix everything that got broken. Do we have a deal?
Everything?
Everything that got broken. The curtains, shelves, whatever's ruined. Paint. What do you say? Do we have a deal?
Yeah.
Okay. Shake on it.
For you.
All right, let's go see what you want to fix.
Which Veronica just didn't seem to be willing to give them. She just didn't seem to have the mental energy or want to be around them.
I'll take you next week, okay? Geez, I gotta get this. I don't know. They're probably Marv's pants or something. I'll be back, guys.
Mom, can you get the breakfast sandwich?
Yes, I'll get you that. Because I'm in a hurry today. I gotta take Mara to a concert, so I don't really have time for a lot of kid shopping right now.
And according to this comment on Reddit, at one point, one of the girls wouldn't even get on the school bus to go home without just breaking down into tears, which is just... it's awful. It's so awful. And all of which are red flags. We saw them. The community saw these red flags, but we didn't know what they meant. We could only speculate. May 31st was 3 weeks ago. And 3 weeks ago is also around the time Veronica stopped posting to TikTok. And June 11th is when she seemingly overdosed on Tylenol and the kids were surrendered to the state. According to the public records Reddit found, Marty was released, likely on bail, on June 7th, 4 days earlier. The question that I have is, who reported him? Was it Victoria? Is that why she moved out? Is that why she has been making cryptic posts on TikTok and Facebook? Or was it one of the kids? Was it the school? Or was it Veronica herself? Not only that, did she really accidentally overdose on Tylenol while treating residual pain from having her wisdom teeth pulled like she said? Or did she actually try to unalive herself on purpose because of this situation, because of the guilt she no doubt has and feels, especially if the abuse happened to her kids like we suspect? Now, Veronica, she's insisting right now in her comments that this is unrelated. This has nothing to do with that. These are separate events, but I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you, Curslings. I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know how I feel about this. Part of me feels bad for her near-death experience. Regardless of whether it was intentional or not, we've watched Veronica's mental health slowly degrade. At the same time, I'm horrified. This is the second time she's married an S offender. A child S offender. That is a joint popping. I'm gesticulating. I'm not blaming her. I doubt she knew that Marty was a child S offender when she first married him. This is my worst nightmare. Just the idea that my child is being victimized and I not only couldn't prevent it, but I didn't fucking know about it, that scares the fuck out of me. Maybe it's because I was a victim myself. I don't know. I just know it's something I'm always wary of because I know how easily this can happen. And just the idea that any of these kids endured S abuse at the hands of their father, no less, for months, makes me sick to my stomach, which in turn just makes me feel fucking angry. Because I know for a fact that Veronica has been emotionally checked out. Regardless of all her mental health feelings and things, whatever, she's still responsible for these children. It's still her job to know these things or try to know these things, pay attention to the red fucking flags. She frequently left those kids in the care of Marty or Victoria or one of her teens like Adam or Andrew, all so that she could go gallivanting around with her older kids, her teens, or to go driving several hours away to date some random man that never worked out.
A lot of people wonder, well, why would you have another kid with somebody that you don't even like? And it's complicated, and I don't want to explain it all right now, but maybe later I will. I will say that I wanted to divorce him, well, for years technically, but he was going to move out when we first moved here. But then I had joined TikTok, and to be honest, I felt a lot of pressure from people. You know, they were calling me like a single mom and everything, and I don't know, I just felt embarrassed. So I let him stay. He was going to just stay in the basement, and he was going to help with things. But more and more he started trying to take control, and that's not what I wanted. And so he is gone now, and I'm not having any more kids with him. So if I have any more kids in the future, it'll be if I get remarried.
All while her youngest children were left in the care of an abuser, their own father, and who may have been abusing them. And she knew that he was an abuser because she said he was abusive to her. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to feel. I'm heartbroken. Now, after recording last night, I awoke to more developments on the situation with Marty. Specifically, this post, where someone asked Victoria on TikTok, who now goes by Jax, about whether there was SA in the Mad home. In those comments, Jax would confirm that Veronica had known about the child SA committed by Marty for at least 2 years, if not longer. In fact, according to Jax, it was the reason Veronica decided to divorce him. This was a massive bombshell because Marty has been active in Veronica and her children's lives seemingly this entire fucking time, providing childcare when she needed it.
So this is what my ex cooked for dinner.
Taking the kids on fishing trips, and even driving the family to Florida last summer to see Andrew graduate from Marine boot camp. Yet despite this dissonance, Jax insisted that Marty was told to leave many times, and that there were plenty of fights because of it. Which, to be honest, does not completely match with anything Veronica has ever said about Marty. If she knew about the child SA that he had committed 2 years ago, why the fuck was she okay with him living in her basement at one point? Why was she still letting him participate and see the kids? Like, what was going through her mind? Like, why let him be around her family, period? It doesn't make sense. Then, today, Saturday, Veronica uploaded this TikTok, where she claimed that CPS had essentially taken advantage of her when she was in a vulnerable state and stole her kids.
So today, I'm finding out what really happened with my kids, and I'm fucking pissed because CPS told me that, just because I was sick, and they just wanted to help for a couple weeks.
Worse, CPS allegedly told her children that they had to leave their house, which isn't what Veronica understood was going to happen.
So I talked to one of my kids, and apparently CPS told all my children that they had to leave the house.
And that they apparently even charged her with neglect and child abandonment.
And charged me with neglect, like I abandoned them or something. I didn't abandon them. I left them with 2 adults. It is perfectly legal to leave your kid. I am fucking pissed.
What doesn't make sense about this story, however, is that in her TikToks yesterday, Veronica said that she was the one who called CPS. She surrendered her kids to them. She asked them to take her children because she didn't know if she was going to live, and she wanted to make sure that they would be cared for.
When I asked CPS to take my kids, it was because I had absolutely no idea how long I was going to be in a hospital, how long they were going to be without someone to care for them, and I just wanted them to be safe.
I feel like I have fucking whiplash because now she's saying that they essentially swept in and took her kids, stole them, even though they were in the care of 2 adults, her sons Adam and Andrew, who are, by the way, 18 and 19. Gee, I wonder why CPS had doubts about their ability to care for 9 frickin' children.
Even though I left the kids with 2 adults, they told my kids that they couldn't be at home, and so they just went wherever the fuck, and CPS just decided that they would swoop in and take them.
Anyway, she now plans to fight the decision. She's going to appeal.
I've already contacted my lawyer to appeal the court's decision because they had no fucking right. They had no fucking right to take advantage of me when I'm in this vulnerable position and tell me it's going to be a fucking couple weeks when they are going to try to take them for a fucking year. I thought it was a fucking couple weeks.
Even though court was literally Friday morning yesterday and everything has already been signed and the children have been handed over to their new homes. And I'm not the only one who's experiencing whiplash. A lot of people find this sudden switch to be suspicious. It's odd. As yesterday, Veronica seemed to be okay with the idea that she had handed over her children to the state. But today she's angry because it's going to be for a year?
Why would I trust CPS? You're right. Why the fuck would I? Why would I? Why would I ever think that you could trust them? Because in my head, I'm like, wow, that's really nice that they're trying to help,
You know, because it's a lot of responsibility for Adam to have to worry about. And if they want to help out for a few weeks, it's no big deal. But for a fucking year, for what? Because I got fucking sick? I'm not a fucking drug addict. I overdosed on fucking acetaminophen.
Even though she knew it was going to be like 6 to 8 months before she got D back.
I'm going to know where he is, who he's with. I'm going to be able to go to him, his doctor's appointments, whatever. And in 6 to 8 months or whatever, when I finally have what I need to get his insurance, I'll be able to petition to get him back.
You know, the things she would have been told when she signed the others over? The math ain't mathing. And if anything, she came across kind of manic.
Anyways, I'm fucking pissed. I'm so pissed right now, and I will be getting my kids back. I will be appealing the courts. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know how to express how fucking pissed I am right now. I'm gonna be leaving the hospital. I'm done. I guess I'm recovered because it's a miracle. Look, I'm better. I'm going home.
So I don't know. I'm not sure if this is feigned outrage because of the backlash she's received over the last 36 hours, or if she really is coming to terms with what she agreed to and is realizing just how much she fucked up, or if this is just misdirection for whatever reason. I have no idea. I also had a realization of my own. I don't think that D was surrendered to CPS with the other children. I think he was surrendered at least 3 weeks ago when she tried to get him a checkup for his neuroblastoma, as the only way she'd be able to get him medical care immediately was if he was a ward of the state, by her own words.
I felt like I didn't have a choice, and that if I voluntarily surrendered him, he could get the help he needed. I'll know where he is, and I don't have to worry about him dying before I can get his birth certificate.
Veronica loves to use technical truths, blurring information together to try and mitigate how she might be perceived. Losing custody of her remaining children, or surrendering them, as she was saying yesterday, while she was in the hospital, was the perfect time for her to also explain away why she no longer has D, as she described each as separate events, suggesting that she didn't surrender D while she was hallucinating and out of it. A lot of people have also wondered if Alicia Dougherty from the Dougherty Dozen would be taking on some of Veronica's children, which I personally think is unlikely. Alicia doesn't have the room for 9 additional kids. She barely has enough beds for maybe 1 or 2 other children, and that's with them sharing a room with 1 to 2 other kids. She really doesn't have the space. She has too many kids as it is. That being said, I do think that Alicia was aware of Veronica's hospitalization and that she surrendered her children to CPS, as Alicia suddenly and mysteriously canceled her trip to LA last minute, the flight for which was on June 12th. I think it's very possible that Veronica texted with Alicia about her situation, and Alicia, not knowing what was going to happen at that point in Veronica's medical state, chose to cancel her trip because her friend was seemingly on death's door. At least I hope that's what's happened, as Veronica did make mention of having friends who had too many kids that could not help her, which does describe Alicia Dougherty. This in turn has led people to wonder if M, Veronica's oldest teen daughter, is now in Alicia Dougherty's care, as in her video, Veronica mentions that one of her kids is staying with one of her friends, and that friend explained to her that she has M for the next year.
So one of my friends has one of my kids, and I was like, why are you acting like you have to get her a bed? It's only a couple of weeks. She'll be fine. Just let her go home. And she's like, well, no, I have to be her foster mom now. And I was like, for a couple weeks, and she was like, no, CPS it is going to be for like a year. I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Why would it be for a fucking year? What is going on?
Presumably, that friend would have to be a licensed foster parent, someone like Alicia Dougherty. And I'm not going to lie, this situation of Veronica in the hospital, losing custody of her kids, it reminded me a lot of Shauna and NND and how Alicia Dougherty came to be in custody of them. Of course, we don't know for sure if this is the case here, as Alicia wouldn't be permitted to film M if she does have custody as a foster care placement. She can't film them, she can't post them at all. So I guess we wait and see what happens. That's really all we can do, is just wait to see if Veronica makes another TikTok or Alicia announces something. which I don't think she would. Anyway, that's it for me. I want to thank everyone for liking, commenting, and subscribing, with a big thank you, as always, to my members. You guys are rad, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!